Welcome, everyone, to Unity Center of Peace Services. Today is Sunday, the 21st of March. It's also the spring solstice. My name is Mary Shapiro. I'm your musician today, and Jeff Wolf, my husband, will be giving the talk. The theme is called It's About Time. So if you could please center yourself, and we will open with prayer. Mother, Father, God, Creator God, God of love and peace. We thank you for this time to gather together. Please open our ears and our hearts and our minds so that we can learn to love even more. Amen. So It's About Time is kind of hard to find songs about, but we'll do our best. If you know, you may certainly sing along to the la-las of this song from Simon and Garfunkel. Slow down, you're moving too fast. You got to make the moment last. Just tipping down the cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling groovy. La da 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 da, feeling groovy. Hello lamppost, what you knowin'? Got to watch your flowers growing. Ain't you got no time for me? Do, feeling groovy. La da 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 da, feeling groovy. La da 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 da, feeling groovy. Slow down, you're moving too fast. Gotta make the moment last. Just skipping down the cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling groovy. La da 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 da, feeling groovy. Slow down, you're moving too fast.
Thank you. And let's also have the readings of our statements. Our vision statement for Unity Center of Peace in Northern Virginia. Unity Center of Peace is a thriving spiritual community offering love, peace, and support to all. Our mission statement: we spread the unity message by opening our doors and our hearts to the healing and expansion of personal and global consciousness. Our prosperity statement: we believe that true prosperity is a sense of fulfillment in every area of our lives, our minds, our bodies, our emotions, and our circumstances. We are richly, bountifully, and beautifully prospered in every good way. So it is, and so we let it be. And our statement of peace: we stand for peace, we stand for love, we stand for forgiveness. We honor the many names for God, the many paths to God, the many ways to worship God. For there is only one power and presence of God, and God loves each one of us equally. We urge all nations, their leaders, and their people to turn to God by whatever name and to pursue peace, for peace honors the God of all faiths. We stand for peace in our lifetime. Now, Morning Glory, the Daily Word.
Good morning. Today is Sunday, March 21st, 2021. Today's word is forgive. I extend forgiveness to myself. Throughout my life, I have forgiven those who have hurt and disappointed me. In turn, I have been grateful when others extended understanding and forgiveness to me. Even though I have learned to be forgiving with others, I may still find it difficult to forgive myself for mistakes I've made, disappointments I have caused, and commitments I have broken. Today, I open my heart and with love and compassion, I forgive myself. I remind myself that everyone makes mistakes and deserves understanding and forgiveness, even me. I remember how the prodigal son's father received him with joy when he came home. This joy is mine when I let go of self-condemnation and finally come home to myself. And from the Bible, but while he was still far off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. He ran and put his arms around him and kissed him. That's Luke 15, verse 20. Today's word, forgive.
Thank you, Gloria. So the talk will be It's About Time. And so here are some songs about time. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away, ere I forget all the joy that is mine. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're only a day away. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're only a day away. And now Mr. Wolf will talk to us about time.
Okay, I gotta raise this up. There we go. Or not. I can stand back. That works too. Okay. Thank you, Mary. Sometimes we don't coordinate and it turns out perfect. In fact, the daily word could not have been more perfect for today because it involves exactly what I'm going to be talking about. Today, we're going to talk about the concept of time. What I'm going to present to you is probably new to you. And with all new ideas, there are stages. And forgive me for reading this. I normally try to speak without reading, but I've condensed a 2-hour lecture down into 30 minutes. And so I got to read it. With a new idea, there are stages. People say that that's ridiculous. It's impossible. It cannot happen. And then the second stage, people will say, I suppose that's possible. The third stage, then it will be reported that many people say, and there are some accept it. The fourth stage, when the new idea has been widely accepted, people will say, oh, I knew that all the time. The time required. How much time is required for a new idea? With ideas of social change, it can take anywhere from weeks to months to years, depending on their desire. Fads can come rather quickly, as what to wear or what is politically correct. Actual social changes, such as the rights for certain races and genders, may take decades or years. And in fact, sometimes the changes can be reversed. Scientific changes can take generations. The first is the theory, second, the experimental evidence, and then third, defending the new idea from the old scientific thought. In many cases, it takes generations for new scientific ideas to be accepted, such as quantum physics or climate change. I've been reading several books on quantum theory, and that's where this is all coming from. Quantum theory is first proposed in around 1920. The experimental evidence was not available until around the 80s. And only recently, within the past 3 or 4 years, have the precise instruments been available to advance the concept of quantum physics. Einstein and others even said quantum theory was absolutely false because it required speeds greater than the speed of light, which Einstein thought was an absolute limit. However, Stephen Hawking and other contemporary physicists think quantum physics is true. As to when it will be widely accepted is anyone's guess. There is need to be completely open when considering a new idea. We need to open to the idea that the current knowledge may not be correct and true. We have many traditions that may be out of date that are restricting our thought. In fact, it is our memory of these traditions and beliefs and long-held ideas that prevent us from accepting a new idea, be it social, scientific, religious, or otherwise. We need to start with a blank slate. That is extremely difficult. So let us begin with this new idea of quantum physics or quantum theory, they're used interchangeably, and the idea of time. In the past, and for the vast majority of people, time is linear. We think of it as going in a progressive line from past to present to future. Time is in one direction. This is certainly understandable because we can see so many examples of this with our 5 physical senses in our daily experience. First, the seed, then the flower, then the fruit. First, a birth, then a life, then a death. We cannot take the flower and put it back into the seed, nor can we take a person who has died and have them be born again. Time seems to be in one direction only. So time is obvious and appeals to common sense. Time is linear. Well, so we have believed up until now. In order to measure time, in order to be very aware of time, we must use matter. Think to yourself, how can I measure time without matter? There are things in matter that are periodic. They give us a sense of time, our trips around the sun, the moon revolving around the earth turning on its axis, the seasons, and so forth. To subdivide time even further, we have used pendulums, springs, and other forms of clocks. In fact, we have become so good at subdividing time, even with the vibrations of a quartz crystal, to make what we call the atomic clock. In fact, we have become very good at subdividing time, even with the vibrations of this quartz crystal. Humans love time. They are enveloped in time. They are ruled by time. However, a dog has no knowledge of any of these means of recording time. That is why a dog will joyfully welcome you back no matter how long you've been gone. 5 minutes or 5 hours makes no difference. For humans, we have a need of memory to conceive of the past and imagination to conceive of the future. Past and future are mental concepts, not a perception. Past and future are mental concepts, not a perception. The concept of time is also dependent upon the observer. The faster the observer moves, the slower time passes. It is theorized that if a person were to get into a spaceship and travel at close to the speed of light and then return, they would appear not to have experienced the same amount of time as those of us who remain in normal time. They will have aged almost nothing. Time is also dependent upon the perception based on the consciousness of the observer. A person with dementia can note the passage of a little time, but not aware of passage of great amounts of time. They may also be living in the past, talking to loved ones that have gone on, or not remember that they did what they did an hour ago or a day ago. It is recorded in the New England Journal of Medicine that a woman who was psychologically damaged because of a jilted love affair lost her sense of time. She went every day to look through the window, expecting to see her lover come. She did this for years. When she was in her 60s, she appeared to be in her 20s. How did this consciousness, her mental faculty, affect her time and, as a result, her physical appearance? With quantum physics, time has been shown to be the product of the observer and not an independent fact of reality. Quantum physics has discovered in the 20s as a result of mathematics trying to explain reality. It was born out of mathematics, where the impossible is possible. In mathematics, you cannot have the square root or find the square root of a negative number. So the concept of an imaginary number was created, which is the square root of -1. From this, calculations could be performed to explain what was observed in the celestial world. In mathematics, time is not in one direction. Cause and effect are linear and in one direction. For example, in mathematics, we can say 2 + 2 = 4, one direction. But it's also possible to reverse it and say 4 = 2 + 2. In quantum physics, cause and effect are one, not linear. They are one. Cause and effect are one. You cannot have a cause without an effect, and you cannot have an effect without the cause. If you experience an effect, then we search for the cause that must have come first. Starting with the cause, we naturally assume the appropriate effect will follow. In linear time, we naturally assume the causes come first. This is what we see. This is what we believe. In quantum physics, this is not necessarily so. In subatomic physics, a photon exists in a probability function until observed. It can either be a particle or a wave. It is energy. It has so many possibilities. That is to say, it is neither a wave or a particle until it is observed. Then the wave function collapses into one or the other, depending on the observer. Then, in experiments where a photon passed through a fork device, the photon collapsed from possibility of behaving as a wave or behaving as a particle into one of those two possibilities. In this experience, another device was placed downline of that decision. The observer was able to look at the second device, but not the first, and observe that it was a particle or a wave. When the observer believed that the photon behaved as a particle, it did so. When the observer believed the photon behaved as a wave, it did so, even though the decision had been made in the past as it passed through the first device. This was after the photon had already changed from one to one or the other. Therefore, the observation was capable of changing what apparently happened in the past. Are you hearing the ramifications of that? The consciousness of the observer actually changed the physical properties of matter in the past. This is experimental evidence. Let that sink in for a little bit. The ramifications of this are huge. That the observation, our consciousness, our awareness, our opinion can actually change facts about the past. Now, historians have been doing this for years, but that's a different thing. Especially whoever wins the war rewrites history. Anyway, let's look at cause and effect. We say that an accident happens first, and then the injury second, and then the suffering. However, in quantum physics, the two are one entity, happening simultaneously. Cause and effect are interchangeable. A cause can be manufactured by consciousness to justify the effect that we see as easily as the effect being manufactured by the cause we see. It's reversible. Here's an example. I sustained an injury to my knee. Many, many years ago. I prayed, affirmations, so on and so forth. I did some physical therapy. I wore a brace, and still the suffering from the result of the accident. I suffered. It would pop out every now and then, very painful. As a metaphysician, I tried to eliminate the injury from my experience in the present, fully accepting the accident that had occurred in the past and caused the injury in the present. I tried to heal what existed, but not what caused it. It wasn't until I was willing to mentally return to the past and replace the concept of accident with the concept of harmony and peace that the result of the accident actually disappeared. To this day, I cannot tell you which knee it was. I had to mentally heal not only the effect, but the memory of the cause, as they are actually one. They are locked together as one concept. This applies to cancer from Roundup, which seems to be popular on Facebook right now, diabetes from genetics or too much sugar, and so on and so forth. The cause must be addressed when mentally and prayerfully healing the past or the effect in the present. Let me say that again. The cause must be addressed when mentally healing and praying about the effect. That is forgiveness. Mary just said that. That's it. That's it. You read my notes, maybe.
No, forgiveness was the word for the day.
I know. I know. Synchronicity just abounds. We also experience emotional pain. It's the next line.
Okay.
This can be from an insult, being used or cheated upon, or embarrassed. We suffer emotionally from past experiences. As a result, our experience in the present becomes filtered through the emotional past to the point that we may not experience the present accurately. We can justify resentment by what happened to poor me in the past. We hold grudges for years, which can affect our happiness in the present and deprive us from living in peace. Why did Jesus say, love your enemies? To bless the enemy or to remove the cancer-causing hate in our own thought removes the effect in our own body. There are two kinds of memories, facts and emotions. Remembering a fact is most useful. Remembering emotions may alter our perception of the present and lead to missed opportunities of joy, love, and peace. Let's take a car for an example. Remembering the facts of a car, how to drive it, the rules of the road, and so forth, is very important, so that when we go to drive, we don't have to relearn all these facts. However, emotional memory can be very interfering, if not destructive, to our present experience. For example, if we were joyriding and remember the driving as a lot of fun, then when we get into a car, we have the experience of joy. There may be a situation which is dangerous, and we simply ignore it, perhaps even driving recklessly. On the other hand, we could have been in an accident and we get in the car after that and become paranoid and not really able to drive smoothly, comfortably, and peacefully. We have a friend that has had 3 brain injuries in a car. The past repeats itself if not corrected. The past repeats itself if not addressed and corrected. Factual memory is important. Emotional memory interferes with being in the now, being present in any experience. Let's look at some biblical references. Do you remember the story of the workers coming to the vineyard that Jesus told? Those that came in the morning received a penny for working all day. Those that came at noon and in the afternoon also received a penny for much less work. The amount of time did not make any difference. The attention was on coming to work, not time. The act of agreeing to work was the important part of the story, not the time involved. Also, Jesus said in a reference to his time, before Abraham was, I am. Also remember when Moses asked God, what is your name? Because they're going to ask me. God said, I am that I am. I am hath sent you. We have translated that into always has been, is now, and always will be, but it's actually I am that I am. These examples emphasize the importance of being in the now. Spiritually speaking, now is the only time. Now is the expected time. Now is the day of salvation. Now is all that is important. And it is becoming evident that now is the only real time. All else is an illusion, fabricated by the mind through memory and imagination. The Bible says 360 times more, fear not. Fear is always in the future. The Bible also says, judge not, lest you be judged. Judgment is based on past events. Only now is the real and important. The past is sometimes useful, and planning for the future is prudent. But now is the only time that really exists. Can I go for 30? No? We didn't do it.
Next, well, that's up to you.
Okay. Let me give you a quick example. We have here a timeline, past, present, and future. We're dealing with the present right here, but it's based on what we believe to be the past, and we project to what can be in the future. But in quantum physics, we know there are multiple pasts and futures. And in the present, we can pick, oh, we want this bright future, and we want it in the present. We have to see ourselves as having been bright in the past, with all the glory, with all the love, with all our needs met. You have never been less than perfect, and you never will be less than perfect. You are now the child of God, always have been, always will be, regardless of your perception. I just noticed that's a great bow tie. Anyway, I digress. You can change your perception of the past and the future to create a more peaceful and joyous present. Let go and let God. Let go of the past and the future and be in the present. And the universe will fill the now with infinite blessings. So acknowledge the past as one possibility and the future as also a possibility, but recognize these are only suggestions. Your consciousness of the present is the only real existence, the only time in which to enjoy the eternal, right now. Become more aware of the eternal now and be at peace. This is a new way of thinking, a new way of seeing the eternal, a way of being. Thank you. Yes. Okay, now we're going to move into meditation. In fact, I'm going to sit down so I can do that. And that's the thought. You know, a lot of people say that you have to put your body in a certain position. You know, the body is not important. It's the thought, it's the consciousness. So put your body in such a position, you're not going to think about it. It's not going to argue with you. Just let it go. And those thoughts, don't struggle to get rid of them. Acknowledge them and let them drift away into the now. Let that holiness just shower over you and feel the presence of love now. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Alleluia. 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 Alleluia.
Thank you, Jeff. Mary. Did you have another song that you wanted to play before we do the offering prayer?
No, because of time. Ha!
Ah, okay, all right.
And we want to stay with this time that is just an illusion. I will pass on that song, and after the blessing of the offerings, we can go into the closing blessing and final songs.
Okay. So many things come to mind when I think about time. I mean, Course in Miracles, it'd be interesting if you have the books to look up what they say about time. There was a statement I heard a long time ago, time was invented so that everything wouldn't happen at once. I remember hearing that. Also, they say, and I've read this, that we can only hold a thought for 4 to 6 seconds, and here comes another thought, another image. So if you think about a day staying up 24 hours, that's 186,400 thoughts. And the science behind that says that we can only hold that thought temporarily, but the majority of the time, our minds are in the past. 90% of the time, our minds are contemplating past events, which doesn't leave much for the future. So I want to try to, kind of change that parameter. I think that
Neil?
Yes. You had a question?
Yes. Well, no, another comment. We like to hear the comments of others. And in the reading, I found out that hope is living in the future. We would think of hope as a wonderful thing, and yet it's focusing on the future. So
Very true.
past, present, and future sneaks in all around us. What are some of the thoughts of other people?
Everybody, if you want to unmute and share? You're being
Yeah, why don't we
recorded.
do that? Oh, yes. For quality assurance and for training purposes only.
Or we can stop the recording if people do not want to be recorded. That's fine.
No, that's not an option here. This is a test.
He has spoken.
No, they have spoken. So comments from the gallery. Go ahead, Pam.
I think what I'm going to most take from your talk, Jeff, is what I hear myself reminding myself all the time, but having, and that is that the only important time is the now.
I missed your last comment. Last few words were muffled.
The only important time is the now.
Okay.
Come here, Pip.
Mary?
I wanted to say that when you said hope is living in the future, I thought that joy is living in the present. Like when you feel joy, you're feeling it in that moment. But then I thought joy could also be past, because if you think of something in the past that brought you joy, it also could bring back the emotion of joy from the past. So not all emotions are bad from the past. So, and then I thought anticipating like new life coming into the world or becoming a grandparent or something, that expected joy could also be a future. So I started thinking about, gosh, that's great. Like what words are kind of present words and what words are past words and what words are future words. And then what words could expand all of those and be just the one. So are there quantum words? That's what I'm thinking. Just a thought.
Someone else?
The idea of spiritual concepts are quantum because they cannot be contained. They have no past, present, or future. They are just, they are. If you think of the spiritual aspect of love, love is. Attraction has a beginning, a middle, and often an end, but love doesn't. So that is a quantum concept that we most often misunderstand.
Okay, I'll say something next. You talk, Jeff, reminded me of the things that I do with patients. For a number of years now, I've been doing quantum healing where you can make changes in energy fields and aid people over the phone or maybe on Zoom by working with them, working their energy and things of that nature. And it's been really an eye-opening experience to do that, because we're all kind of swimming in the same soup and you don't have to be right next to somebody to do healing work anymore. So it's been really a kind of an exciting new thing as the quantum idea comes into the mainstream.
And I've been a recipient of some of that healing too. So firsthand, not over the phone, working with Alan for a couple of weeks now with back problems and energy and kinesiology. And it's quite amazing. So thanks, Doc.
You're welcome.
I want to say that your talk reminded me of some of the points that I got through Eckhart Tolle's last School of Awakening series. And really that being in the now means being aware. And when you're aware, you're not conceptualizing things. And that is most helpful. Anyway, thank you for your talk.
And on that note, I sent Gloria a link today. And she's been doing this for a few days already. The new Oprah, I call it the Oprah Chopra, is the another 21-day free meditation. So if you go on the website, you can look him up and get onto that. And he had previous, and Eckhart Tolle has had, Eckhart Tolle has had present, what do they call it, Gloria? Present moment.
Well, he's doing a School of Awakening series, and you can go to YouTube and you can watch the 3-part series on awareness.
Yeah, but there's also something he sends out that I seem to get often. It's present moment.
That's his present moment reminder.
Right, present moment reminders, and beautiful pictures and sayings. And I put some of them on the website. There you go, Mary. Timeline.
Did anyone else have some comments? Because I've got a last comment before we do the final blessing and song. But does anyone else have any comments or suggest things they learned from Jeff?
I'll try. First of all, I want to thank Jeff because he solved the question of why, when I observe Gloria, she just gets younger and better looking. So that's a quantum thing. So
this is a paid political announcement during the recording. Yes.
Right. And I don't know if I'm on the right track or not, but when we hold up the kaleidoscope of time there, the bow tie, it just strikes me that when we're in the now, we have choices about how we think about both our past and our present and our future. and that those choices matter. And I think that's a good thing. And that kind of relates to hope. So that's my viewpoint on it. So there we go.
Thanks, Leon. I mean, that's like mindfulness, choose again. You
Yes.
know, and that's what all the great masters are teaching now. Eckhart Tolle, Chopra, Thich Nhat Hanh. It's all about the present moment, which is very difficult, but that's the lessons of mindfulness. So, Mary, it's up to you to want to finish us out, or you want me to do the love offering prayer now?
The love offering prayer would be great. Then I will do the final blessing and so on.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I wanted to show this demonstration. Thank you for mentioning it again. When Jeff showed me this for the first time, I'm like, okay, past. Okay, gold is the now. Okay, great. I get that. I get that. And then I'm like, if and when I am able to be right here, right now, in the middle, then I can I'm taking the end of the past and taking the future, and it's becoming more of a three-dimensional thing, which is right here, right now, physically. And then, Mr. Wolf, I don't know if you can help me pull all the other ones up, because all of them are possible, intersecting right here, right now, under that golden, at that golden spot. It's hard to. They're all here. It's a hard visual, but if you think of the big Easter egg of them all intersecting right here, right now, instead of being flat, right? We live in 3 dimensions, not 2. That helped me.
That's helpful. Also, one of the teachers of
Now the blessing.
okay, well, right before the blessing, another comment is that a teacher, meditation guru, and I don't remember his name right now, but taught me this: the 2 hands. The 5 fingers represent the 5 senses, which is the 3rd dimension, the things that we perceive and see. The left hand represents the past. The right hand represents the future. So when you do the blessing of Namaste, you bring the past to the future, over the heart to the present moment.
Nice.
So that being said, here is our affirmation for love offerings and tithes. Divine love flowing through us blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. And now you can do the prayer of protection and the peace song. Or you want me to do the prayer of protection? It's up to you.
You can do the prayer protection right after "Let There Be Peace on Earth." Okay,
Okay.
that'd be awesome. So our closing blessing is the sacred in all. I like to sing my blessings. Thank you so much for joining us today, or whatever day you're joining us in the future.
Or past.
Or past. Love go before you, leave peace behind you. Send the angels to guide you on your left and your right. Great Father above you, gentle Mother below you, will teach you and show you the sacred in all. 'Cause if you see with God's eyes, hear with his ears, when you touch with God's hands, she will calm all your fears. Open your mind, help your heart understand the sacred in all. So love go before you, leave peace behind you. Send the angels to guide you on your left and your right. Great Father above you, gentle Mother below you, will teach you and show you the sacred in all. Will teach you and show you the sacred in all.
Join hands.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now, right now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you, Mary and Jeff. And this is me in the present moment. Okay? I'm in the present. Everybody remember the present?
Yeah.
It comes in mono or stereo. Did I
The
do the
light-
prayer of protection? I don't even remember.
The
Not yet.
light of God
Surrounded.
surrounds us.
The
The
love
love
of
of
God
God
enfolds us.
enfolds us.
The power of
God
God protects us.
protects us.
And
The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God
God
is,
is, and all is well.
well. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you all.